The evening show starts now.
This one is dedicated to all of me queen. I heard you had a rough day yesterday. I heard about the hurtful things they said to you. It made you feel some kind of way.
Hey guys, welcome to the evening show. Yours truly, Cudjoe, along my beautiful co-host, as always, Melina the Silva, Rachel, Cowie-Clarke. Ladies, y'all see me, and
I see you.
Oh, let me get it. Yes, Trinidad and Tobago.
Forged from the love
of
liberty.
I'll conduct. Listen, guys, I am always excited about Independence Day, and of course, celebrating 58 years as a nation. That is a great achievement.
Yeah, we big. We getting old. We getting
old. Yeah, the little grays, the little grays are now coming in. Ladies, what is your usual plan for Independence? Now, I know the COVID restrictions would change that, but what would you usually do on a regular Independence Day?
So for us, usually we pack up in the car. Well, we try not to go around the savannah because there's always traffic to get into the savannah. So that's a no-no for us. So what we will do is drive around by the stadium and pack up on the side headed towards the avenue. And we will stay from there and watch the fireworks. But so yeah, none of that not happened. We don't even have. We might have the lighter. That might be all the fireworks we get.
Thank God for YouTube, right? We can go watch all the parades and that type of thing. Rachel, what do you usually do in the East?
Well, get up early enough to watch it on TV, to watch the parade. A few years ago, actually, I used to do some horseback riding, and we would go down with the police. And they had training.
Things about people on air.
Yeah, well, it was a few years back. I mean, and it was really nice. We would go down and help them prep the horses and that type of thing before. It was nice, but we no longer do that. But it's a nice memory to know the work that goes into prepping the horses and the routine to actually display on Independence Day. I'm not sure if you're going to have any of that, but every time I look back on that now, I just look on it knowing that a lot of preparation went into it, and I'm thankful for our servicemen for the work that they do. To commemorate our independence. And of course, at night time, sometimes we go down to the savannah and look at fireworks.
Wow.
Okay.
Very good. For me,
what do you do?
It would usually be on TV, yeah. I've been to the savannah once ever in my life as a child. I think we did it because they were like, she's a child. She wants to go to the savannah. No, I prefer not to go to the savannah in the hot sun. So I would watch it on television. And I think it's gotten to that point where as a grown person, I'm like, I know what's happening. But because of my daughter now, I feel like, I don't want her, I don't want to give her my not so good culture. I want to create a good culture where she understands, and feels that national pride. I think that's what it really is about on that day, that national pride. Because even if I don't go, I try to wear something red. Yeah, I really try to wear something red. No, just in case you didn't know, just a bit of history. For those who may not know, Trinidad and Tobago, of course, gained its independence from Great Britain on August 31st, 1962. Now, it was at midnight on the 30th of August, 1962, to be specific. And the Union Jack, which would have been the British flag, was lowered. And the Trinidad and Tobago flag was raised for the and, we're happy. And here we are today, 58
years later. Yes.
So, guys, fitting for today's program, we have a queen with us. Giselle, LaRonde-West is going to be in the house, and she's going to be talking with us about her journey. The journey
with her crown.
With her crown, yes, I like that. And after the journey after the crown, we're going to provide you with some information. Here is some archived footage of the birth of our great nation, the journey after the crown.
Nice.
Don't go anywhere.
Port of Spain's Red House has been the scene of many historic events. Under colonial rule, it was the seat of government for over 50 years. It was on the lawn before it that at a few minutes to midnight on the 30th of August 1962, Her Royal Highness, as the representative of the Queen, witnessed the birth of our nation, the 15th member of the Commonwealth. Representatives from over 50 nations were present when the Union Jack was lowered, marking the end of alien rule. On the stroke of midnight, our own national flag, red, white, and black, rose gracefully to the top, marking the attainment of freedom. Heads of religious bodies offered prayers to God to guide the new nation faithfully in the paths of democracy and peace. There was rejoicing among the people gathered in the University of Woodford Square that freedom had come, that the soil which their ancestors from many lands and of divers races had watered with their blood and sweat and tears had become their own to shape and to fashion. The rejoicing was marked by dignified restraint in keeping with the call to discipline by the Prime Minister, who in 6 brief years had led his people from colonialism to nationhood. August 31st, 1962. And here in the Red House, all are gathered to witness the official ceremony marking the inauguration of the first Parliament for independent Trinidad and Tobago. Her Royal Highness delivers the throne speech, then reads a personal message from Her Majesty the Queen.
I have it in command from Her Majesty the Queen to read the following message to her Parliament and people of Trinidad and Tobago. I am very pleased that my aunt, the Princess Royal, is acting as my personal representative at the celebrations to commemorate the independence of your country. I know that she has greatly looked forward to paying a return visit to Trinidad and Tobago and to being with you on this important occasion in your history. It is with every good wish for the future that I extend a warm welcome to Trinidad and Tobago as a new member of the Commonwealth family of nations. I do not doubt that your country, which has already shown how people of many varied origins and traditions may live harmoniously together, will, in spite of its small area, play a full part in promoting cooperation and mutual understanding in the world. I pray that God may bless and keep Trinidad and Tobago in all the years that lie ahead. Signed, Elizabeth Barr.
Her Royal Highness now hands over the constitutional instruments to the Prime Minister, who in turn replies.
May it please your Royal Highness, it is with a feeling of deep pride, pleasure, and satisfaction, as Prime Minister of the newly independent state of Trinidad and Tobago, that I offer you for transmission to Her Majesty the Queen the profound thanks and appreciation of the government, Parliament, and people of this country for Her Majesty's gracious message. We have looked forward with considerable pleasure to our entry into the Commonwealth family. Now that this goal has been achieved, I ask you to convey to Her Majesty an expression of our unfailing loyalty and devotion to her throne and person. We have been inspired by her good wishes, and we pledge ourselves to fulfill the promise expected of us, not only by Her Majesty, but by all the nations of the world, to show how our small community, with its people drawn from many lands, of diverse racial origins, and subscribing to a variety of religious beliefs, can, in harmonious cooperation, make its contribution to the sum total of world peace, world progress, and world happiness.
The first responsibility that devolves upon you is the protection and promotion of your democracy. Democracy means more, much more, than the right to vote, and one vote for every man and every woman of the prescribed age. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means the equality of all in the eyes of the law. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. I repeat, and in private employment. Democracy means responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power and the violation of human freedom and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the rights of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly and organization. All that is democracy. All that is our democracy, to which I call upon all citizens to dedicate themselves on this our Independence Day. This is what I meant when I gave the nation as its slogan for all time: discipline, production, tolerance. Our national flag belongs to all of us. Our national coat of arms with our national birds inscribed therein is the sacred trust of all our citizens. So it is today. Please, I urge you, let it always be so. Let us always be able to say with the psalmist, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
Welcome back to the evening show, our Independence Day episode. Yeah, I know we're getting ready and we are helping you to prepare for tomorrow. We may not be able to go outdoors.
Even though we're not going anywhere, y'all. Yeah, we can still celebrate.
We can still celebrate our nation together. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, ladies, do you know or are you aware that we have 9 national songs?
A whole 9? In primary school, they only taught us 2, you know.
That's what I was thinking. Something. Thanks to Dr. Google.
Uncle Google.
Uncle Google.
Yeah, making part of the family. Uncle.
But let's bring it home. You can also go to the nalis.gov.tt page and they would give you all the information you need. Can you ladies guess any of the 9 songs?
I want to God bless our nation.
I knew you were all going.
I said first. I win any prize. I said first.
the prize.
All right.
So of course we have the national anthem, which
and
we
then there's our
which is,
nation.
written by Patrick Castani. Go ahead.
Our nation's dawning. I think they taught us that one in school as well.
I know.
I think that's with oh land of fairest beauty, we pledge our life to. I think that one is it. Don't mix up the words. I will look for it on.
Yeah. Let me do
that. We have one called "A Nation Is Born," and that's by G. Carlton Sampson. All right.
That's one too.
We have Boca Chimes. That's by Judge A.D. Russell.
There's Portrait something. Portrait of Trinidad.
But we have the Portrait of Trinidad, and of course we all know that one, the Mighty Sniper.
And our Model Nation.
I
heard that one.
And that's by Mighty Sparrow, for those who remember. Yeah.
I need to go under my children. Go on. I'm telling you, them and do that. They give us social studies projects. You have to do the flag, who wrote the national anthem, but never. Makaya just finished SEA and Joshua is in standard 4. I have done 2, more than 2. Such as getting early in standard 1. Standard 4, they had to do a repeat of it. And so I've done 4 by now. None of them address the 9 national songs.
9 national songs.
Well, yeah,
let them do it.
Marjorie Padmore, that would have been the one you all both called out first. God bless
our nation.
I was first too.
No.
We have Our Nation's Dawning. That's the one you were talking about, Rachel, which is G. Carlton Sampson as well. We have Our Land of Sun and Seas. George Carlton Sampson, right? This Is My Flag. Do you know that we have a This Is My Flag song? Yeah.
No, I don't know that one.
Rocky McCullin is the composer of that one. And that's it for our 9 national songs, the 9 national songs of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, guys, check it out on Nallis to get that link.
No, but it's good information. It's really good information. Because you know now with that when they prepare for SEA, it's really just 3 basic sessions, composition, and creative writing and maths. So that get lost along the way. So unless you're doing social studies in Form 1, or you choose it as a major subject to do CXC, you would that it not stay.
I think you know what? I think they even robbed our parents because your parents would tell you about these 9 songs. I feel robbed.
Rachel, you were probably robbed. But what we are doing today, we're going to provide you with some information right here on the evening show. Here's our next segment. Keep it locked.
Men. Talking to men today. Quick question. Every man probably who plays sports knows that when you have an injury, it is important for you to go to sports therapy to recuperate that injured part of your body. If you don't do that, you will now go onto the field with an injury that is likely to resurface. You have to strengthen that area. Men, we need to see that same concept when it comes to our own traumatic mental issues. I'm not talking about being diagnosed. I'm just talking about the fact that there are things that we have been conditioned to believe, toxic masculinity, conditioned based on a traumatic experience that does not allow us to fix those things. And because we think therapy, in essence, is something men don't do, we have been conditioned to not talk about our feelings. We now put ourselves in situations where, because our feelings are now being brought to the surface and we have no ability to control them, we act out and lash out to the people we're supposed to protect. I am begging every single man to find someone. It doesn't have to be a professional, sometimes, but it may need to be a professional. Find somebody you can talk to. An injured lion is a very dangerous thing. And when you put yourself in a situation where a man or a woman is attacking that injured part of you mentally, you have to defend yourself. That's just a human nature. And when you try to defend yourself from that injured part, you can basically face the repercussions or the consequences of that situation if not handled properly. Men, protect the woman by working on yourself. By working on yourself, please. We are putting ourselves in situations where we know we cannot deal with it and think to ourselves that the only way I can defend myself is by using my fist or my or my words, or even using no words at all. Please work on communication, and I say this all the time. This is not just me talking to you all. This is me talking amongst everybody. I'm begging you, we are not doing what we're supposed to do. Find a new definition for manhood. Holding a liquor is not manhood. Driving the best car is not manhood. Being able to face your trauma, face your insecurities, communicate with the ones you love is manhood, or part of it. Taking responsibility for your actions. E plus R equal O. Event plus response equals outcome. Change the response. The events will always come. Change the response. Find a new definition for manhood and find a new way to deal with your emotions, please. I am seeing too many things happening where men are lashing out. And I also ask women as well, comfort men. Don't baby them and try to be their mothers, you know. But when a man speaks, listen. Don't trivialize his emotions. Don't make him feel small. Everybody has a little child, a little boy, a little girl inside of them that needs healing. It starts with the child. But men, do better.
Hey guys, welcome back. The evening show. As promised, the segment we've all been waiting for, and I talk on behalf of my co-host and of course you, Trinidad and Tobago, as we prepare for Independence Day. Once a queen, always a queen. I think that's the best way for me to introduce this, and we're honored to have with us Trinidadian model and a beauty queen, Miss World 1986. I think we're going to have to get some horns here, right, Mr. Director?
Yes.
Representing our sweet Trinbago Republic, Miss Giselle LaRonde-West.
Welcome.
Giselle, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is indeed a pleasure to have you on our show.
Yes.
A queen, it's just fitting. It's just fitting to have someone. Now, Giselle, before we get into anything, there's a short clip that we want to go to, and this clip would bring back a lot of memories. This is 1986, the day that you were crowned Miss World. Take a look.
I shall now announce the results in reverse order. Second runner-up is Miss Austria.
Well, here she is. Chantal Schreiber, second runner-up to Miss World, wins £1,000 plus a Top Shop trophy.
First runner-up is Miss Denmark.
Pia Larsen, the first runner-up to Miss World, £2,000 in prize money plus a Top Shop trophy.
Miss World 1986 is... Miss Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow, here she is, the happiest girl in the hall tonight, Giselle LaRonde. She'll receive the Top Shop trophy, the scepter, the sash, £30,000 in prize money, and of course the all-important crown. This is the lady on top of the world this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Trinidad and Tobago is Miss World 1986.
So Giselle, I know that clip would have brought back so many memories. I can just imagine how many times in your life you've looked at it, or someone has made mention during an interview.
Or even just heard that line. How did it feel you?
And Giselle, you were just what, 23 at that time?
I like how she says just. Yes, I was just.
Okay, before we get to the feeling, you were a model, right? Was it that, well, the next best thing for my career obviously would be to win Miss World or even enter? What was the thought process before entering the competition?
The thing is, I did some modeling with the House of Jackie.
Right.
And I was actually working at Tech Credit Union to try and save money to go to UE. At the time, you had to, save money to pay to go to UE.
Right.
And so some friends encouraged me to enter the pageant. And that's really how it started. And they actually literally forced me to enter the pageant. Wow. So, Brenda Joy for Hay, I don't know if you remember, you might be too young, but she encouraged me, and her brother and herself took me down to the heats, and I don't know, one thing led to the next, and eventually I said, okay, well, I'm actually doing this, let's do it, and that's how it all came to pass.
But so, I'm thankful. We are thankful as a nation to your friends.
Yes,
I am.
That your partner, they were able to persuade you.
Yes,
to put your foot in the water.
But you would have had to have a confident upbringing in terms of your parents instilling something in you to at the last moment to jump forward and say, yes, I could do this.
Yeah,
I think you were saving, but
yeah, well, I mean, in school I was very confident. I was always in sports, so I was always participating in some form of sport at school. I entered a lot of different sporting activities at school, always representing my club, my house, as they say. And so the confidence, I guess, was always there. And of course, if you had to do some modeling, and certainly with the House of Jackie, you had to be confident enough to be on a stage, so all of that helped. And and that really, really groomed me and had me prepared beforehand, so I didn't have to do too much work, as it were.
I listened to I think it was an interview you did some time ago, and you said, you gave a lot of reasons why you couldn't have done it, because you were too skinny, too this, too that, and you were still able to run in there and bring the prize home.
Well, the thing is, when I always feel that once you commit to something, you need to give it your all. And I think that is what I was prepared to do.
Right.
I said, okay, I'm going into this. I've already made my decision. Let me just give it my best shot. And I'm not going to think of who's taller, who's more beautiful, who have more clothes, all that kind of thing. I was just going to go and enjoy myself. This is when I already won the local leg. I'm going to go and enjoy myself, represent the country to the best as best of my ability, and certainly make sure that the country is known by the time I leave there. And so I did, and I think that, coupled with the confidence, coupled with the fact that I was quite different to most of the other girls, I think it obviously it played off well for me.
Now, at that point, though, Giselle, at what point during the competition did you say to yourself, "Hey, I might actually walk away with the crown"? Or did you even? Was that a thought that even crossed your mind?
No, it wasn't a thought. I knew. I knew that from the, like, when I went out, a lot of people were noticing me, and they were saying that they wanted autographs and that kind of thing from Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm saying, yeah, well, great, Trinidad is getting some more airplay. And then there were, and at that time they used to do a lot of betting, and I was up in the odds, and people were saying, look at her, And then I went to a concert. I can't remember the name of the person now, forgive me, but he pointed up in the crowd and actually said, "I want to meet her, that girl there, Miss Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, come on down." Wow. And I was like, what? So that gave me a little, excitement to say, okay, I'm going into the competition, and it's going to be exciting. At least people are recognizing me, and I'm not just on the shelf shifting and sifting among the others. I'm up there with them. So, but to think that I would have won, no. I mean, there were girls who had, like, for instance, I went up with 2 suitcases. There were most of them with 7 suitcases. That's to just tell you. Everybody's looking glamorous.
It probably felt he probably felt like, in school days, there are people that always ask for more paper. And you just had one sheet of paper and you were done. I was like, where are they going with all that luggage?
That's a good analogy. I have to say, thank God for Bobby and Sally Apparali, who actually helped, provide me with clothing at that time. Because, I mean, that time it was hard because I used to go knocking from door to door, boutique to boutique, trying to beg, can you give me a dress? Can you, lend me something? I mean, it's so different. It's developed so nicely over the years to see that the girls have been well taken care of. Designers are coming and willing to give and lend, and so it's been really good to see that development, because I've kept close to the girls that have gone up year after year. I always try to help the franchise as best as I can in whatever way I can, because I felt, I feel obliged that being the only Miss World, that I need to be around them. I need to see, they need to see me to be able to speak to me, to ask me anything. And I feel, for me, the Miss T&T and the Miss World in particular is all about development of women. And contrary to where, people think that the pageant is a cattle show and all of those different negative things that we've heard over the years, it still is a platform for young women to be able to find themselves, to develop, to learn, to be the best selves that they can be, and many times you find the young woman coming into the pageant just to build confidence and self-confidence in particular. So to me, my journey over the last few years has been great, in that it has made me feel that, okay, I am a part of helping develop young women in Trinidad and Tobago. And whether that is, for some people, maybe a trivial space in which we're developing women, then too bad. To me, it's a very valuable space, because you find, as a woman, you find your inner strength, you find your weaknesses, you find that you learn more about your country, you learn more about women in general, because you become a quite knit circle.
Right.
A team.
I wanted to ask that. What is the camaraderie like within the competition itself?
Very, very good. I mean, for instance, I was not clinging to the West Indian girls at all. I felt that, okay, I'm from the West Indies. I pretty much know what the West Indies is about. Let me try to gravitate to the other girls, the other countries, learn a little bit more about them and their culture. And so to me, it was easy to do that, because everybody was realizing that, hey, we're the same person, we same age, kind of, or thereabouts. We all going after the same thing. And we've realized that there's so many similarities. And then people started talking about their lives, and, the girls who were brought up in maybe not so wholesome circumstances, or those that are mega rich, the mega rich ones understand or are learning about those people who have come from a poorer background, and vice versa. And so it's a whole thorough learning, because we spend a lot of time together, and you exchange a lot of ideas. You talk a lot about your family and your friends and people. So I just think that no matter what you do, whether you win, you lose, anything in between, you would have gained so much as a young woman.
With the experience, just being in the experience. I wanted to find out, you mentioned wanted to make yourself available to any of the upcoming girls and any upcoming mission that they would have. Having gone on and lived, I saw that you have a black belt, which I was very impressed with. And also you went on to get your degree and so on. Like, what advice would you give to a young girl thinking that after I would have done this, maybe I would win, I would have accomplished? Like, how do you encourage someone to keep going further?
Yeah, well, I encourage them all the time. It's part of my ethos, and that's part of when I speak to the girls at every competition, I say, you need to try and find yourself. And the way to do that is to know who you are. Once you know who you are, then you know where you want to be, where you want to, how you want your life to develop. And so I explain to them that winning the pageant is not the be all and end all. And what they all need to realize that there can only be one winner. If it's 15 of you, there can only be one. So one of you have to lose. I mean, one of you, all of you that does not win will have to lose, you know. So then it's to have that mindset right away that that there is life beyond the title. And sometimes it's hard for some of them coming back from the pageant as well and not having won, placed or anything. And it really is hard hitting because they go up expecting more, expecting to really do the country proud, as you know, everybody wants to do that. But I stress that you need to make sure that you have a vision. You know that the pageant is a process. It's something that you've done. It's a catalyst, as it were, you know, for want of a better word, to something better, perhaps, because you would have grown, you would have developed, you know, you would have learned more through the process. And so therefore you need to see it as a catalyst to the next step. And it cannot definitely be the be all and end all. So that's my mantra. That's what I keep encouraging the young ladies every time I meet them in the local leg and going up for the next show. And for the most part, everybody understands that. But of course, it's disheartening when you don't win.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you understand.
I was going to ask you about that in terms of encouraging girls that try and they fail. Of course, they are the ones that didn't win. How do I go and compete? How do I find the strength to go and compete again? And then this is something that is transferable, not just within the pageants, but in life. You know, so in corporate world, as entrepreneurs, you know, we might try a business idea and it fails and, oh my gosh, do I go again? Or I applied for that job and I didn't win. I didn't get the interview. How do I move on? You know, what lessons could you teach or share with us as well that we could share with our viewers this evening?
Right. I mean, I certainly don't think that I can teach necessarily, but I really try to give advice.
Share your experience. Yes.
In that, you know, we live for a purpose, and we need to, as we're growing up, try and find that purpose. Once we found that purpose, then we know, okay, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. And so everything that we do should be a step toward that ideal and that goal. And so if even we fail in some areas along the way, we know that there must be another step to get us to that location, right? And so that should be the impetus, or that should be the push, the drive for us to get going again, right? And so I try to encourage them to just think of this as a stepping stone. And if the stone falls beneath your feet, then you find another stone to put the other foot on, right? And so that way you will be keeping that momentum and you will keep moving. And it's important for them to also understand, or for us, because I'm still learning, to understand that failure can also be a learning. And so what you may have done, you know, and to get you to the point where you didn't win, then you need to dissect that, go back, see, you know, what are the possibilities? Where did I go wrong? What changes can I make? And then also know too that, okay, you should have known going into the pageant or into anything, what you're going into it for. And then you can say, okay, did I get value from that in any way at all? And if you got value out of it, then you've won in some way. And I think at the very beginning of the pageant, that's an important question to ask yourself. What are you going into it for? What are you doing it for? Is it for confidence? Is it for recognition? Is it to get to learn about other girls? Is it about learning different skills? Is it about learning just how to walk in heels? You know, so understanding self and understanding where you want to be and where you're going is really the start of any journey.
How do you, as a young woman, let's just say someone who would have seen you on a YouTube rerun or something and just thought, wow, look at Giselle, look at Penny, look at Wendy. I think I really want to pursue this, but they don't have probably the encouragement as a child to go with, as you're stating, a vision in mind, with a purpose in mind, with an intention in mind. How would you encourage someone without that background or without that backing beforehand? What would you tell someone who's probably lacking in that area?
Right. I would just say close your eyes and go brave. Because I think because I think in life anything is an experience.
Right.
If you're sitting in a room doing nothing, you're not experiencing anything. You're not learning anything.
Correct.
If you jump outside and walk down the road, you would have experienced something. You would see the birds, you'll understand, oh, that's what a bird looks like. You see how a car is driven. You see how the water runs down the canal. You know, you will observe different things. So staying in your own little bubble, you don't learn, you don't grow, and you don't certainly don't prosper. So, you know, I would, if you have nothing behind you, I would still say go for it and give it your best shot. Try it, see what you learn out of it, and you will then find where you want to go, because within that you may say, okay, well, I like this whole pageant thing, you know, but you know what I like better? I like cosmetics. Let me pursue that. Or I like teaching modeling, or I like to model, or whatever. So you learn something new about yourself as well. And then you say, okay, well, let me try something new. And then you go beyond that. And then you would say, okay, this beauty thing is not for me. This pageant thing is not for me. I much prefer the aesthetics. I much prefer doing photography, even, you know, being behind the camera that shoots these beauty queens, you know.
I agree. Because I know sometimes when you talk to, I talk to a lot of women, I talk to a lot of girls, and sometimes you hear them say, well, you don't know how I grew up, I don't have that kind of, and sometimes we use it as an excuse to not pursue, or to not go forward, or to not press, as they say, to not just decide against all odds are going, despite my default position. So, you know, it's really encouraging to hear you say, despite the fact, you know, still go forward.
And we do find that there are many different types of women who enter the pageant, and not all of them can win. And from the very beginning, we can see that not all of them are going to be in the top 5. We can more or less see who will probably make it. There's a lot of encouragement to everybody. Find your best self. Find what you can do best out of all of this, and what you can get best out of all of this. And that's the only way, really. That's the only way.
At what point were you able to say, this is the vision for my life?
Yeah.
And this is what I want. Not necessarily pageant alone, but you know, you said that knowing what you want for yourself and knowing what is the vision for your life. At what point did you find that? When did you know?
I think, well, okay, growing up, I knew, and I think it goes back to, I guess, my mother and grandmother and people who were around me who valued what women meant in this world. And I felt that I always knew that I needed to be a strong woman. I wanted to procreate. So those are 2 strong things that I, you know, those are 2 things that I knew that I wanted to
that is a nice way to put it,
Giselle. And I said, you know, I always wanted to be successful no matter what I did. So those were the 3 key things my life developed by bit. So like in school, I was very athletic. I was always in the athletics, you know, doing every sport that you could think of, getting involved. I'm more of a tomboy than I was, you know, a beauty queen candidate. So you could always find me in a tree, pitching marbles with the boys, chasing down, beating somebody.
I like where we're going.
Right? So that's basically how I was. And that was one of the reasons why I'm saying beauty queen. What? No way. Right? So this was a by the way thing, and it happened in my life. And it added great value, because I mean, I couldn't continue being a tomboy all my life.
And then that's a perfect example. Right? That was a perfect example of you walking out of your room and not staying in your box.
Yes.
That's right.
Remember, you just said, don't stay inside.
Exactly.
As a perfect living it out.
Very fun fact, as we continue, I think a lot of people are not aware that in 1986, you competed against Halle Berry. And you whooped her.
That's my bigger claim to fame, eh?
Trini woman.
She doesn't, I don't think she would be appreciative to hear me say that. But I'm sure she'll understand. I mean, we became friends after. Yeah, during the competition, we became friends. And then after, I saw her in Jamaica, because she came to Jamaica with me to when I went to Jamaica as Miss World. And we stayed in touch for a long, long time. And then when she came to Trinidad, she actually asked for me, and we hooked up and kept in touch, and we're still in touch today. Not as regularly, of course, because you know she's always so busy. But it was interesting meeting her. She's a lovely girl, and she knew what she wanted. She was another woman who knew what she wanted, and she gave the media hell at Miss World. You know, she would just speak her mind, do anything, say what she wanted, and sometimes they really took her to task for it. But she knew what she wanted, and I mean, many times we spoke about her going back and actually becoming an actress and wanting that for her life. And it's so great seeing her actually achieve it. I was really, really so proud.
You spoke about procreating. That was the term. And you have 2 boys, Kai and Christoph. I am also the mother of 2 boys. They're young. They're younger than your sons. I just want a little heads up as to what's in line for me. What's ahead?
Girl, they're fun. No, seriously. I you know, a lot of people, because of the pageant and everything, people ask me, so you don't want a girl? How come you didn't have a girl child? Da, da, da. I said, girl, I don't know what I would do with a girl child. First of all, I wouldn't be able to comb my hair properly.
Oh my gosh.
If she turned out to not be a tomboy, if she turned out to not be a tomboy, what am I going to do to her? You know, I don't know if I could handle a girl who's wanting her hair done and all kind of thing and wanting pretty dresses all the time.
You are preaching to the choir and up here to that.
So to me, I was real happy when God said, "Hey, girl, take 2 boys." And I say, "Thank you, Lord." And I took my boys and I did it. So I enjoyed it because, of course, me being into sport, I enjoyed taking them to football and karate and water polo, and I was the biggest mom, yay, shouting and carrying on. Of course, much to their annoyance. So I enjoyed my life with them, you know, and I really enjoyed having boys. They have your back, you know. They're not as fussy as little girls. God, the girls will tell me off. I have 2 nieces. If my sister only heard me, she'll say, "What?" Because she will say, "You never told me this." But I said, "Yeah, you stick to your girls, okay?" Yeah, I enjoyed my time with them. I enjoy my time with them now, you know, sharing little secrets and hearing all their escapades and all the things, exciting things that they're doing and getting flying, and I just love it. I love it, and that's why I knew I needed to be a parent. I really needed it. And I thank God I was able to be a parent, because I know there are a lot of women out there who don't have the opportunity.
That's true. That is so true.
I wish I could just procreate. Go back to procreate. I wish I could just procreate and give them children. You know. It would be so nice, because I have friends who always wanted to be a mother and have a little child, and I see how they suffer. I see every time they see a child how I can tell how they feel, and so to me, that's why I get upset with women who abuse children and have no time for their children. It's phenomenal. I'm saying there are women who need these children. Why are you abusing them? Horrible towards them, or not taking care of them, etc. So so that was a big part of my life. I knew I needed that, with or without a man. That is what I needed, and and I knew that I wanted to be successful no matter what I did. And I didn't know what God had planned for me. I knew I wanted to get into communication in some form or fashion. So at the time when I went into the pageant, I didn't have money, and my parents couldn't afford to send me to university. So this was like a godsend. The entire thing was godsend as far as I'm concerned. This wasn't just something that just happened by the way. This was a purpose, something that was given to me as a gift, because it helped me get my money to be able to pay for university, and it also helped me help other people as well, and you know, and it's able to give me the opportunity to see people who suffer and see what little can be done. And so the whole beauty with a purpose for Miss World was so important for me, and it still is to a lot of the franchise holders who take on the project, because they understand and they see how important it is to the Miss World franchise internationally. And so it was good for me to see all of that, because in my little house in Marabella, Trinidad, I was not exposed to a lot. And my parents didn't really expose me to a lot either. So we grew up in Marabella. I went to St. Peter's School, both primary and secondary. So I didn't really indulge too much or get to know other people from other schools like St. Joseph Convent, and until, of course, I did my A-levels at St. Francis Girls. So that was my little exposure at 20 or whatever, to the rest of Trinidad and Port of Spain, and wow,
Right.
So then at 23, so then at 23, to be thrown into this world is like, wow, look at this. There's so much out here. And so to me, that was what was my driving force, to say, hey, there's so much out there I need to go and get. And then having said that, there's a part of me that could have gone and get, like people said, so why didn't you go to the States? I got offered to go to the States. I got offered to do, even do some acting. I did a little stint in Guadeloupe. I did something else in another Caribbean island. And then I realized that, hey, I'm not too sure all of this worldly thing is for me, I think I'm more of still a country bumpkin. I'm still more of a down to earth, wanna have friends and family around, that kind of person. So while I was ambitious, I realized that my ambition was not to be this worldly person. I mean, some people may say that is so Blair and not, but is not being, you're not being ambitious enough, and I've had people say that, that I could have done so much more, and I could have, but to what benefit? Would my life be, how different would my life would have been?
The loss of
I
self.
thank God for the husband he's provided me with, and my wonderful boys. Of course, life is not perfect all along the way, but you make it you make it how you want it to be. And you enjoy every moment. And that's something else I encourage the young women to do. Enjoy every element of your life. Enjoy every moment, good or bad, of your life. If you make mistakes, you get up, you brush your knees, and you move on. And don't harbor on the mistakes you've made, or harbor on the things that you could not have, or the people you might have wanted to be like and you can't be like. That's not your purpose in life. God didn't make you to be like this, perhaps, and so you just have to accept who you are. And I feel that if more people thought like that, then the world would be a better place too, because then we get along better with each other. We wouldn't be stabbing each other in each other's backs. We wouldn't try to be climbing on the top of each other to try and do better than the other person. I've seen people pursue degrees, or being forced to do degrees that they don't want to do necessarily. And when they come out of it, it's like, I've just wasted 3 years of my life. So I think it all boils back down to knowing yourself, accepting what God has put you on this earth to do, and to make sure that you're just conscientious, and happy with yourself and what you've been able to achieve.
What are your plans for Independence Day, especially with the restrictions that we have now?
Yeah.
And, what is your message to Trinidad and Tobago during this pandemic as well?
Yeah, there's not much to do, really. Most times I spend a lot of time with family, my immediate family and extended family. And I think on that day, I probably will be doing just that. It'll be a normal day, pretty much. One, though, in terms of reflecting, though, that we would be thanking God for where we are today and asking Him to bless the nation, and for us to be able to prosper and go forward, and get out of this pandemic. Right now, it's a really dim picture for many people, and I know there's a lot of people who are suffering because of where they are, their opportunities that they're not getting. There are people suffering. So my prayer would be to lift this entire nation out of this suffering and out of doldrum, help people to be in a better place and quickly. That would be my drive for independence. And I would tell the nation, I would tell Trinbagonians to hang in there, give it your best shot. And of course, be precautious. Make sure you wear your mask, make sure you social distance, follow all the rules so that we will get to the place where we want to be sooner rather than later.
So Giselle, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We appreciate it, like 100. Definitely honored. Listen, you touched on so many things. Yeah. The overarching theme or idea behind the show is leaving a legacy, and you touched on so much of that without even knowing.
Yes. Just knowing your purpose and identifying that and sticking to it,
And I appreciated your transparency as well in terms of just sharing your story.
My pleasure. It's been great seeing you. And good luck with everything. And you're already such an example. A young woman, having your own businesses and doing well. And so continue that, and continue encourage young women to be the best that they could be. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Independence.
You too.
Thank you. Happy Independence, T&T.
Hey guys, keep it locked. It's the evening show. Hey guys, welcome back. The evening show, ladies. What a show today.
Yes. I officially feel we could be real celebrities. We just are real distinguished people. We are talking to folks.
Queen.
We are the Miss World
royalties.
And she is such a humble, sweet, transparent person.
Yeah, I mean, she gave so much information to young girls that I think they could use, and no matter, she made it clear that despite, because she talked about her parents not being able to provide and going door to door to get her dresses and so on. So, it does not matter where you start as long as you decide to go forward. It was such an encouragement to anybody. Girl, boy, man, woman.
Stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. Have a vision
for
yourself.
Yes. It was really, really encouraging just to hear her journey, and she accomplished a black belt. And I still impressed. I am still impressed. You come out after you put down your crown with your cute self, and then you strap up. Hello.
But she said as well, she was a Tom girl, so a black belt might be a natural progression.
Yeah, of course.
I feel Melissa in the corner there could identify.
I'm just saying.
Yes. You can make the switch. I just really like the switch. At any point, don't play. And I think this crown and I'll deal with you.
Take down them earrings.
Yeah, I'll take down these earrings and I'll deal with you. Yeah. I really like that.
I think that's the beauty of the program, because the idea is for women specifically to understand that you can really become anything that you put your heart or your energies towards.
Yes. And there are no limits. That's it. There are no limits.
Many may have said to themselves, Giselle had it easy, many may have thought.
Yeah.
Hey man, she told you, oh no, it was not easy.
Even when she said she used the opportunity winning the crown to further her studies, because she was just diamonds. She just dropped it.
Let me tell you something. She could have made a choice there to just ride out on, I'm Miss World. But she chose, let me have a fallback.
She decided she had a checkpoint in her life. Okay, what do I really want? Is this the life that I have chosen for me? What is my real vision? What do I need to do to continue the path that I think is my purpose? And she was very intentional, because she had a plan. These are the things. Talk about procreating. That was a plan. And she made sure that she still did it. No matter what life fits you.
Yeah.
Keep in mind what your focus is. Focus on your purpose. Yeah? You know what? You're going with that.
Focus on your purpose, Melissa. Focus on your purpose.
I love it. So guys, thanks again for following, liking, sharing, being a part of the evening show family. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. Do the
please. Use them. Use it.
You want to see you tomorrow. Do what is right. Sanitize. All right. Sanitize. Wash your hands. Don't come into your house with your shoes. Do the needful.
Yeah. Social distance.
If you're not feeling well, that's the next thing. Stay home.
Yeah. Stay home.
Don't go to the hairdresser when you stay home, eh? Because
don't come by me.
Cudjoe, Melina, the Silva, Rachel, Cowie-Clarke saying bye for now. Happy independence. Happy 58th independence, Trinidad and Tobago.
Bye.